Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the peace dealer walking down Flamingo. Moon in Cancer, Sun in Taurus. I hope that with the Sun on Uranus and in the same sign, you're not so full of yourself, feeling that you have to uphold this image in a universe that's not locally real. Okay, that you're too afraid to embrace your eccentricities and what makes you silly and what makes you weird. Okay, the unfortunate part about this energy is some people may take themselves way too serious to the point where they start to see themselves as better than other people, and if they have to go through that character arc so that they learn their lesson, don't take any of that personal. We're not going to have Uranian energy like this for another lifetime. So the reason why Uranus, Pluto, Neptune, these transpersonal, trans-Saturnian energies and planets have so much to do with killing your ego, innovating your ego, transcending your ego, is because a transit like this is going to make it more clear who's initiated versus who's not initiated. And this is where the moon in Cancer helps you understand special qualities about who you are. Let me share something I've never really at length spoke about and shared that has come back around, okay? And this might align with you 2012. 2012 in Puerto Rico, I got initiated in Palo Mayombe. My understanding of it at the time with the Aquarius mentor I have was that, you know, other than Santeria and Ifa, this is a lot darker. Drug dealers will usually get initiated or work with this for protection, right? Because you're dealing with muertos, right? The dead. And as a young neophyte, I didn't necessarily know what I was getting into. I just knew that this was the next step of my path. And in retrospect, I'm realizing, because I never really, after I got initiated, kept in touch with the people who taught me. So I never really got taught the craft, but I still got initiated. I still, of course, in Puerto Rico, made that connection and whatnot. And then, of course, working with other people, you know, work to edit that or turn over certain things. But what I realized in retrospect, relative to now where I've awakened truly to who I am, it makes me realize how tied and aligned stuff that I've been doing before I even knew the significance of was relevant. For example, with this initiation, it was able to help facilitate me with all the psychic attack that I subsequently didn't know I would receive, putting myself out there with the collective to share the truth. And I know some people might roll their eyes when I say psychic attack. I'm not a victim. I'm not talking about hater vibes that are stopping me from doing what I'm doing. I'm talking about the real nuance of frequencies that come from other people who have a problem with what I'm doing, that take place in a real way that can seek to discourage or distract. I never had to worry with a lot of shit like that like other people did in retrospect, as I've come full circle to realize that a lot of what I do, despite not being trained by the people who initiated me and going my separate ways, everything was aligned, right? Now in learning that, you know, I actually have connections with certain representations in astrology that have to do with death and the Lord of Death. I mean, being a vessel or connected to Osiris, meeting other people who have these symbolic qualities too. I spoke to someone who felt like she was an angel of death, and then I realized she had that aspect on there too. Me being able to predict people's death days before it happened, me being, you know, me having this special relationship with death, which everyone does. But now in going back and learning these aspects which are inherently taboo. You don't see this being spoken about in mainstream media, but the truth from experiences instead of regurgitated knowledge from books has enabled me to tap into the special power and nature of my quality and worth. This is Moon in Cancer and Sun in Taurus. You are finalizing the activation of this new moon Taurus cycle by understanding the special quality of your value. What makes you special? Because there's certain hidden private aspects that people outside looking into you may assume apply to you, but these bitches do not know you. And so they may be frustrated and irritated because they're trying to understand you in a conventional way, but you are completely beyond their understanding. And certain people who are, slow or too grounded and can't necessarily think or see or feel, beyond just the physical, won't necessarily be able to gain a grasp. Not everyone's meant to. You have some people who are just meant to be bottom level, grounded. And then you have some people who are meant to fly high in the sky. Everyone's different. Everyone has something. Nothing is better or worse than the other. It just depends on how you use what you got. And so the moon in Cancer is going to help you understand the attitude that you take to defend the homeland of your worth. And to not give in to manipulation from other people who, as you activate this feeling, it will instantly produce a frequency that takes into account the nature of people who lose the leverage they gain from you not believing in your worth. At a subtle frequency level, it's going to bring these people to you so that they can establish that leverage again, except now you are feeling the attitude of your value through how you feel about what you're worth. Bearing in quality with the South Node in Scorpio and the trine to Saturn in Pisces, not only the passing of the test of you anchoring beliefs in your limitlessness that you can feel now, but also helping you understand and put together all the secrets. In this society, we don't respect individuality because people think they know shit they don't. People compare you to other people. You cannot be compared to other people. Even the whole basis behind statistics and large numbers is inherently, even if somewhat efficient, a fallacy. And like most statisticians will tell you that it's nothing set in stone for this reason. So really keep that in mind. The perpetual reminder that most people do not know what and who you are. They just have an idea of you. And when you step out of that idea, if they don't like change, they're going to desperately, in a subconscious way, want to fit you back in that box. But you don't exist in someone's mental box or limiting beliefs. This is going to help you understand how to activate this intuitive receptivity to intangible aspects that you feel, which Taurus will provide unconventional grounding for, to make sense of this, to prepare you for the integration of all of this, when of course the moon enters Leo. And that's what's going to enable you to understand the sense of confidence that puts you on the stage to express your value. So let me give you a real example of this that you can substitute for how this makes sense of you. You have people who hit you with statistics about what the average person does, but then you have personal experiences that basically transcend you out of people's understanding of you. So for example, yesterday, in returning my car charger to Lowe's, I met a woman whose name was Angel. And she had the angel necklace on her with the angel tagline. And I was like, look, what's your sign? And she said Sagittarius. I didn't say, do you have anything in Gemini? Shout out to the whole talking about angels up. I didn't say, do you have anything in Gemini? I said, what do you have in Gemini? Because I just knew. And she was like, you know what? I think I have my rising or moon in Gemini. And that was just so amazing because she looked it up. It was her moon. She was moon, Gemini, sun, Sag. And I told her, yo, Geminis are the angels of the zodiac. So that's how I knew you had Gemini in your chart. And she's now the second angel, named Angel, that I met with the Gemini moon, which is just confirming aspects that mainstream society does not necessarily acknowledge, but still exists. These real experiences that add more layer and depth to the nature of who you truly are outside of the materialist reductionist way of people who impose that you're weird because you actually exist beyond their limited thinking. So it really had me thinking, like, I'm an angel. Like, I'm not a modern man. I'm an ancient soul in a modern society. And some of you are recognizing that the worth of who you are and the actual understanding, special understanding of this value is going to prepare to shift how you not even take serious certain people, individuals, or influences that may look at these aspects like woo-woo bullshit, and that's where they are. They're not on your level. The reason why it's easy for you to understand these things, but it's not for them, is because you're trying to take a higher level program and put it on a computer that has not updated itself. Some people will never have that capability because they're not meant to. So you want to allow this, 5-star baby, you want to allow this to really layer and nuance more the depth of how you apply this special understanding, which will, with the third house to Taurus, begin the creation of special abilities, psychic abilities that the sun in Taurus will ground through your physical senses. You're going to activate the understanding of what and how to feel this energy you're harnessing. And that's where these realizations, Jesus, that's where these realizations go a long way. That bus took a wide turn on the curve. And this is where you're going to come into the juice, baby. You're going to start to synthesize. See? Magic mind. Oh, that was a mad poster right there. The synchronicities have been popping. All right? You're going to start to synthesize unique attributes of yourself that uplift you out of the limiting ways people understand you. Case in point, it's very hard for certain people to accept supernatural, unconventional facets of things because they don't see it. It's not physical, which is so fucking stupid because there's so much in the universe that you don't see and feel but still exists. Most of these things are not beliefs, they're laws. So really pay attention to what you're being receptive to, because it's going to add so much to your value when you understand that you personally are in a position to not only reclaim and take this sense of your confidence back from others who don't know you. You have to really stop giving attention to people who act like they know you and talk to you like they know you. They don't know shit about you. They don't know your secret. And that's what I'm saying. Some of you have secrets that make you unique from other people that now make what people are saying about you half true because they don't understand certain things about yourself that have never been revealed. So be very mindful of that, because you have people who give unsolicited advice and kind of just express things with their limited, slow-ass understanding when they're in no position to even do that because they don't even really know shit. It's their ego, it's their hubris, it's their focusing on the material that causes them to skew that. And you, as someone higher than that, are meant to lead by example, not necessarily get caught up trying to, explain yourself. Shout out to Jason Smith, who shared a story about that. This is a great period to demonstrate instead of explain, but you don't have to prove yourself to anyone. Demonstrate it to yourself only if you're going to demonstrate it to anyone. And if other people are worth seeing what you can prove, then do that. But you're not doing this to prove anything, just to remind yourself you're special and you're valuable. So this is special value, you're understanding the special value of your energy and who you are. And I wanted to share that story in the beginning to highlight that there are attributes of you that no one are meant to understand but you and God. So do not, because other people are able to understand that, make that mean that you're supposed to make sense to people when you're beyond most people's understanding. Listen, you have a universe inside you. Most people can't even tell you what's happening beyond this solar system. And so they cannot understand the universe. So when people expect you to make sense to them, when people expect you to exist under their understanding, these idiots don't even understand themselves. So it is fallacious to assume that you should have to make sense to anybody. And that's a controversial statement to say. So feel it and live it, because that's going to take your power back. I'm not saying you should be confusing the people. I'm saying you shouldn't be in a rush to make sense to people who don't even understand shit about shit, instead of just accepting things as they are and learning in the moment. You're going to activate psychic abilities by feeling your worth. Godspeed. Peace.